government or not. We're trying to find out who these gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so they've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. Arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
They're collecting the rent. Good Lord. Danielle Jurinsky is a city council member in Aurora, and she joins me now. Danielle, a spokesperson for the governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, he's dismissing you. They say this is all a figment of your imagination. Would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I just would ask him, is this also a figment of the Romero's imagination and all of the other folks that I've spoken to at these complexes and that I've physically moved out? This is one heck of an imagination.
What are you going to do about this?
Well, what I've been able to do so far is bring this much attention to it. And I plan to continue to bring this kind of attention to it until this is addressed. I'm not going to sit back and let this be downplayed and let this be ignored. The governor can attack me all he wants, but I am going to continue to expose this. And I will continue to go into these buildings and I will get as many people out as I can.
You got to get people out. What about the people who are barging their way into these apartments? What are you going to do about them? Can we arrest them in some way?
Well, I think that that's where we need the help of our state and federal partners. I mean, this is way beyond any one local law enforcement dealing with this. This gang is here. They have spread out. They have taken over multiple apartment complexes. This is not just in Aurora. And we need a group effort here.
Who's to blame, in your opinion?
Well, the blame starts at the southern border. I mean, first and foremost, we need to shut down our southern border and we need to put policies in place that are vetting these people. And then beyond that, you know, you can look at our state. Our governor has made our state a sanctuary state here in Colorado. And the mayor of Denver, you know, they hung a banner on the Denver City Hall that said, "We love migrants." Well, you know, we love migrants too, but can we vet them? I mean, these people are coming in. They have hundreds of guns. They are running whatever kind of operations they are running. And
I'm going to stop you right there for a second. She says, we love migrants. But do the migrants love her back? Like, where does this love for the migrants come from? And do they love you back?
somebody needs to step in here at the federal level and the state level.
I want to go back to how the residents of some of these apartment buildings actually feel about it and what they're going through. Just watch this for a second.
Every day when we come home, we have to do this. Every time we go outside to take out the garbage, every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
It's come to that. 5 locked.
Many Americans have long lived behind double locks, multiple locks. I've been in the Bronx where people have 2 or 3 locks before they get inside their home comfortably. The locks are not the issue. They're using that almost as a smoke screen for what the real issue is here.
On the door. Last word to you.
That is one of the folks that I was able to move out the other day, and it is horrifying to see firsthand. And I hope that nobody is listening to our governor. This is not a figment of anyone's imagination. This is very serious. This is very real, and it will spread out quickly across the country if it is not addressed.
Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky, thank you very much.
That's a councilwoman from Aurora, Colorado. And she's talking about the migrant takeover of, as she says, several apartment buildings, not just one in the Aurora, Denver, Colorado area. And so people have been asking me, what would John Galt do if someone, a group of armed people try to take over my apartment, particularly an armed foreign group like that? And to be quite honest with you, I don't know. I've had Americans try to take over my apartment. And so what I can say is that people are willing to follow behind a dictator, a strong man. And if you aren't that strong man, or if someone stronger comes along, then, well, if you can't defend it, you don't own it. And I've had that situation happen to me. And, you know, I think I've told you guys that situation. Maybe it bears telling you again one day. But I don't know what I would do if I was faced with a bunch of foreign gangsters. I've told you guys the story about the Hispanic couple that I ran into, and the woman left the man there with a gangster-like man, and he had a bunch of his buddies over, and they had barbershop chairs in my house. It looked like some of a West Coast gangster movie. You know, a bunch of Hispanic bald heads, plaid shirts, dicky pants. But they weren't threatened. But imagine if they had guns or rifles. You know, I'm encountering people I can't even speak English to, I can't even reason with, because there's no common language. And again, my biggest suggestion to anyone is that, as I've been saying all along, that, you know, as we descend more and more to a gangster country, you're going to have to deal with people that you feel comfortable with. I mean, on a social level, it's not about can they pay, because many of these people are going to have tax stubs and things like that, either falsely generated or legitimate. But they're going to be up with the gangsters, and these people are a little bit more business savvy than the professional renters that you may typically see in these inner city neighborhoods. So that could get very interesting indeed. So I wanted to share a couple articles with you. You saw that headline there. And here's an article, well, a blog post from the Conservative Treehouse here. And I'll read a little bit of this. And this is an update, looks like from the Aurora Police Department. And so it says the city in Aurora established a special task force in collaboration with other state, local, and federal partners to address concerns about the TDA gang, Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and other criminal activity affecting migrant communities. We are aware the components are operating in Aurora. Aurora has been increasingly collecting evidence to show the gang is connected to crimes. However, as we said, the DA Assembly stated it would be improper at this time for the city and the APD to make any conclusory statements about specific incidents or provide details. Based on our initial investigative work, we believe the reports of TDA influence in Aurora are isolated. I bet it is isolated. It's probably not in the affluent neighborhoods, it's in the poor neighborhoods. And here you can see the guys apparently taking over an apartment or something. You see the AK, AR type assault rifle there. Other guys have handguns. You see this, these other crimes committed, jewelry store robberies. On and on it goes. And here are some of the things. We'll take a look at this video.
All right,
Again, I'm going to
welcome
see
in now the mayor of the city
if I can give you some feedback from the standpoint of a landlord, how I would approach this.
where this happened, Aurora, Colorado Mayor Mike Kaufman. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. It's one thing for the people who don't live in the city of Aurora to see the video. You live there. You are the mayor there. What is your reaction to this surveillance video?
Well, it's a real concern. We've got several properties that have a concentration of Venezuelan migrants in them, and unfortunately, there's a criminal element.
And therein lies the first problem right there. And there's a solution in that problem, is that you can't rent to, a large concentration of a group susceptible to warlord type behavior. If you find yourself with a large group of people in your building that are Venezuelan, you're going to be very much at risk to people that are susceptible to this, what's going on here in Colorado.
Venezuelan that is followed in those three, or what we believe are three buildings, several buildings. And so, but I want to put this in context. We are the 51st largest city in the United States.
Are they knocking the locks off the door right there?
With over 400,000 in population. And this is several apartment units, all under the same ownership, out-of-state owner that has allowed these properties to run down. And so,
you notice he's blaming it on the owner, out-of-state owner. How many of you guys are out-of-state? Thinking about owning property somewhere else. This is what your political representatives will say about you if you so happen to have your apartment overtaken by this gang and blame you for being out of town.
We've got a concerted law enforcement effort right now. I think some of the people that you're seeing in this video have already been apprehended. We've got our own police force combined with state and federal partners working not just in Aurora but throughout the Denver metro area to try to get these people off the street. It's a problem, and quite frankly, it stems from the border when you had waves of Venezuelan migrants come. God bless them, a third of the population is left to a failed socialist dictatorship, and so a failed government. And so, but there's just not the vetting process at the border, and I don't believe that Venezuela cooperates with us in the sharing of criminal records for the population. And so, people are allowed to cross the border illegally.
So he just said that Venezuela does not share criminal records with the United States. This is downstream from that. They're not sharing criminal records probably because they want to get rid of those people. If we knew they were criminals, we'd stop them and send them back. But these people are coming here, and I guarantee you that this is behavior that they do in their own countries, in Venezuela. And so here is going to be a really big problem for these people, these landlords. We'll continue playing some more.
Arrested, they declare political asylum, they're given humanitarian parole, come in to the country.
Yeah.
And so it's a real challenge for us. But in these several apartment complexes, we are cleaning them out.
Yeah, and I do want to note here that Aurora police say the gang activity is isolated. We know Denver police are denying these apartment takeovers, and we certainly do not want to categorize all migrants as being criminals. But from your perspective,
now why do they even have to say that? Because clearly these migrants are criminals. All of them can't be criminals. It goes without saying.
What is happening in your town when it comes to the crime, the criminal element that we're seeing, and what is being done to stop it? You say you're cleaning them out. What does that actually mean?
Well, that's a law enforcement approach. It's a little challenging because a lot of the people are, particularly there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants in these complexes.
A concentration of Venezuelan migrants in these complexes. Don't let that happen to you guys.
They were intimidated in terms of stepping forward, but we've got an aggressive approach to root them out, and we're certainly doing that.
If they have such an aggressive approach to root them out, where was the proactive approach to keep them from getting in?
But we can't afford to surrender any part of the city.
They've already surrendered it, so clearly they could afford it.
Even though it's in isolated pockets to any criminal element, and so
all crimes isolated.
We're aggressive on it. I think that there's so much criminality, unfortunately, in Venezuela, given the fact that the police force is there to defend the Maduro government against its opposition as opposed to defending the people against crime. And so there's just it's a sad component of the culture that this element exists, and it's followed the migrants up. And with that, they come here.
And Mayor, where do you think the blame lies for this? What is now a local problem? Do you feel this does stem from a national problem? Is this something separate? Is it a combination of multiple things?
Absolutely, it's a federal problem. I mean, Aurora, Aurora has not been a sanctuary city historically. Denver has. The governor of Texas, targeted, I think, Denver in terms of dropping off migrants there. Aurora took the position that this is a federal problem. It's not the city of Aurora problem. We will not expend tax resources on migrants, nor will we be a conduit for federal dollars. And yet, here they are. And so I'm trying to walk it back and see, how did they get here? Somebody's funding them, so I'm going to our nonprofits.
Somebody's funding them. He has to act like he doesn't know things. Clearly, someone's funding them. It's the American taxpayers by way of the federal government. They're funding it, clearly.
Saying, were you a conduit for federal dollars and in concentrating these migrants in in several of these buildings, these complexes? Yeah, we inherited a problem. We didn't. That is not ours. But it's now, but now we're sharing in it, and so it's really disappointing. But when you have a policy, a federal policy, somebody can walk across the border illegally, get arrested, declare political asylum, get humanitarian parole, and released into the country pending their court date, which could be could be a long ways out.
Yeah.
And then to make matters worse, the problem actually goes beyond this gang problem because desperate people do desperate things, and these migrants have 6 months before they can apply for a work permit.
Right. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find.
There's another migrant article coming up about that, about, I guess, a migrant
News Nation on your
jumping on a school bus. We won't cover that now. We'll cover that one later, but you'll see that the crimes are rationing up there. And so back to this article from the conservative treehouse here. They're saying these events in the headlines are a predictable outcome from the Biden-Harris border collapse. Everyone needs to have keen situational awareness at all times. Safari rules apply. But as it relates to, landlording and things that I would say there, again, you're not going to be able to have a concentration of these type of people because any of these people could be related to some of these people, and they could be relatives, friends, family. They're gang related, and they end up just taking over the place. The other thing is that if you were to get them in, you're going to have a very hard time getting them out. So, as I say, the only solution really, because these are people that probably you can't even speak to. So the best bet, again, is to not rent to them. Now, there are a lot of ways that they could get into your place by using someone else. And I've read about some things like this happening, that they'll have someone legitimate looking rent for them, and then they just take over the place. There's not a lot of ways to avoid that, but one of the things I think that you can avoid that is, unfortunate to say, is English speaking, primarily English speaking people are not going to be willing to pull these kind of scams, and so you can avoid it by and large by not renting to these migrants. It's going to be very they're going to throw out a lot of lure in the water to try to entice people to rent to these people. But I would resist it at all costs because, again, you could be renting to a gang member from Venezuela, and there's no way that you would know. Hell, the government, our government doesn't even know. So I just would not rent to them, period. Unless I knew them. It's just too big of a risk now. You really don't know. You could be susceptible to something like this. You'll never be able to sleep at night knowing that you have people in your place like this that can at any point turn on you. And primarily, I think this is going to affect apartment buildings, larger apartment buildings, complexes. And so it's primarily going to fall on like small, mid-sized owners. So most of the people listening here probably are mid-sized owners of apartment buildings, but you can be taken advantage of even in a house if you rent a house to people like this. Or even say, I've had situations where I rent a room to an African and 4 or 5 people may show up, him, his wife, and 3 kids. So those kind of things can happen too. So anyway, I did want to cover that. And if anyone has any questions from a landlord perspective or from a migrant perspective, I'm willing to answer those questions. Right now, I'll just go through the comments. And as we're speaking, we have 13 people in the audience. Don't forget, we're also streaming live on our other channel, on our other stream. It's HB2N, our co-host, HB2N. You make sure you guys hit the Cash App for HB2N and myself, John Galt. You can see the banner scrolling there. Let me go back to the comments here. According to the Democrats, the migrants commit less crimes than Americans. It's interesting how that propaganda just took off like that. I've heard people out on the street, just recently, even in some of the street interviews that we did, where the lady more or less said that the same thing. Hey, they don't. There are no statistic that show that they commit more crime than anyone else. So it's going to be very difficult arguing with that with someone if the government doesn't provide the statistics on migrants. How the hell are you going to argue if they do or don't commit more crime? So it'll be just another point of debate that no one will ever be able to agree on there. Sir Tice says salute. So Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Harris says she would prosecute, but what was she doing for less? I think even if they prosecute, man, let's be honest. What are you going to do? Deport all these people? Well, they're not going to stop them from coming back. More likely, they will punish them, judicially with a slap on the wrist and allow them to go free, something like that. So I wouldn't put my stock in them being deported. I just wouldn't do that. I mentioned to you a while back, and for the people that, maybe I speak in kind of esoteric language, and I don't always connect the dots. About a week ago, I mentioned that on the stream here that New York City has finally, or recently, opened up their waiting list for Section 8 vouchers. And, this Section 8 waiting list has been closed 15 years, and now they just surprisingly open it back up. Well, it's no coincidence. When you got all these migrants, surely you're going to open up the Section 8 vouchers. And they're going to have to entice people to accept these migrants with the Section 8 voucher. And how do you do that? Well, the only way to do that is by bumping up the voucher. And I believe that that's what's going to happen. And I believe that's why they opened up the voucher after being shut down for 15 years on the wait list. And anyone that is familiar with Section 8, and if you understand how the game is played, you know that there are loopholes that allow you to jump the line. So if you're technically homeless, you jump to the front of the line. If you have any kind of, illnesses, I would imagine would jump you to the front of the line. There may be new criteria now. If you're a migrant of some sort, I bet that is going to be a criteria that will allow people to jump to the front of the Section 8 line. When you factor in that the migrants are likely going to be more desirable than the people that are on the Section 8 waiting list now, hence no reason to even bump up the pay for them. The migrants will find housing in Section 8. There will be other migrants that will be fairly entrepreneurial and will take these guys on because he'll be able to enforce the law. He'll be kind of the urban landlord of those migrants. And I think that will work out very well for some of these entrepreneurial-minded migrants because they will be able to herd their own people. Kind of the same way I work in the ghetto, and I don't have a problem herding, the people, primarily black people that I work with. And so that is what I think will ultimately happen. And that is why I think that they have opened up the Section 8 vouchers in New York City. I think the cost of sheltering these people in hotels would just be too great, particularly when you have people here for 6-7 months, men, young women, children are going to be born. And hotels are just not going to be suitable places for a family. So the pressure to put these people in houses will be overwhelming. And the only way you can let some of that pressure out is to convince the renting public, the private landlords, to take on some of these people. And again, how do you do that? Well, you're going to have to entice the landlords greatly. And that's where I think the Section 8 vouchers will be increased quite a bit to entice you. But I would encourage you not to take the bait there. Here's a couple things I noticed about Aurora before we get out of here, and I think it's one of the things that is causing the issues here. And I'm only really going to go through the headlines here. I'll share this tab. Aurora. Let me see if you can see this screen here. What's up, Rashu? Salute to you. Check this out. Aurora, the city where the migrants are taking over the apartment buildings, they're searching for the 7th police chief in 5 years as interim police chief Morris announces departure. Now, who is Morris? Let's take a look at Morris. Wow, there you go. Here was the interim police chief while the migrants were doing their due all over town, taking over apartment buildings. This is a woman that was in charge of the city's police force. And well, you see how well she did. She and the city announced in the July 12th statement that Morris would not apply for the job as permanent chief of police, which has had 6 permanent and interim police chiefs. She's been there 2 years. Apparently, after over 2 years of having an interim chief, at the completion of this process, the department will have a chief who's not an interim. So they have announced a new chief. But again, this is a force that has been battered by civil allegations against their police department, just kind of a ineffective, if not incompetent, police force. And so it's no surprise that the migrants would take root in a place like this with a police chief that looks like this interim police chief. She's almost like a substitute teacher in some cases here. And then here's another item that I want to show you. Here's the executive leadership team of the Aurora police chief. Well, this is her when she was in charge. And here are some of her subordinates. Chris Jewell. Here's another guy, Kevin Barnes. Again, he's an Alabama native there. He spent most of his career with the Special Operations Bureau. Mark Hildebrand, Philip Rathbun, Jason Sneeback. This guy's probably not a police officer. He's just a manager. So, make your own judgment here. But 7 police chiefs in 5 or 6 years, that's never a good sign. And particularly when you see that she's probably up against gangsters and criminals who are probably a little bit more savvy than she is in terms of fighting crime versus committing crime. I think these people are probably a little bit more committed than her. Yep, and that is right. A female police chief, that is true. Ryan says, but we know the fastest way to the front of the line is to just tell them that you are, that may be what we need to do now. Migrants with kids, yep, you are definitely right. When I stood in front of that Row Hotel and the Roosevelt Hotel, one of the things I noticed, and I've been mentioning it all along, is that those people are they just can't live in a hotel room without a kitchen, without, a proper kitchen, bathroom. If you have a newborn baby, or even children at this point, you're in one room with daddy is going to be in bed with mommy and next to a 5, 7, 8, 9-year-old. The pressure to put them in apartments, private apartments, is going to be too great. And the state governments already have a payment process by way of Section 8 that is very efficient in terms of paying the landlords, particularly very efficient in terms of paying large landlords, and then large landlords get big block grants for Section 8 money. And so I think that from my point of view, that only makes sense is that the big landlords who can hire a Latino staff to be the intermediaries to these tenants, they can be paid, so they'll get paid so much that they can afford the additional staff, and they can afford the additional headaches, and they can disperse it a little bit. I think for the smaller landlords, the risk is just too great, Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, female police chief indeed. Any other questions, guys? Anyone want to hop on the panel? You have a comment, anything like that you want to say? I'll drop the link there. Otherwise, I'll look through the comments. I had one more article I'll probably share with you about I think I have it here. I guess they have now confirmed their police chief. You can see him here. Council confirms Todd Chamberlain is new Aurora police chief, despite Colorado community's concerns here. So if we scroll down, the members of the council voted Monday to confirm Todd Chamberlain as the new police chief. This will be the 8th police chief, or the 7th, give or take. Several citizens voiced strong opposition, criticizing the lack of community involvement in the decision-making process. They got some more diversity here. Aurora City Manager Jason Batchelor. I want to look and see who this guy is. Very curious. Described Chamberlain as a seasoned professional. Council members in favor of Chamberlain asked the community to give him a chance. Blah, blah, blah. Multiple residents condemned the city's decision and urged the council to vote against the appointment. So you see a lot of rancor here within the police department, within the community regarding the police department. Many speakers who were there to demand justice for Killian Lewis, I'm assuming he was killed by the police here. Madine Schaffner, CEO of the Epitome of Black Excellence and Partnership, questioned Chambers' acceptance of the position given the controversial process by which he was appointed. The experts that you're looking for are in our community. We are the experts, so we should have been part of the process. Okay. This was not done the right way. Back up. Do this the right way. Let me maximize that a little bit just for you guys here. This was not done the right way. Back up. Do this the right way, and then I can assume that you will have individuals that are ready to wrap their arms around your leadership and hold you accountable and celebrate when it's time. That sounds like a word salad there. City manager explained last week that some candidates would not take part in a public process because it could put their current jobs at risk. Okay, fair enough. And on it goes, the word salad. Anyway, the guy takes his job September 9th. You really have to ask yourself, how many options did he have considering he took this job, this hotbed job where he's going to have to come in and fight a criminal gang with his arms tied behind his back, considering the amount of turnover in that police force and probably the lack of competence therein. I mean, if they had a woman police chief where clearly they probably, and she was only there for a short period of time, clearly they didn't have a lot of options, and that seems to be the case now, and that some people did not want to risk their current job for this job, which means that their current job is better than this job. As I said, 51st biggest town, Aurora, in the United States. So it's not a large city by any means, and so there's not a lot of prestige there of this job. So Ryan said he's coming up, and while we're waiting on Ryan, there's one more thing I'm going to cover tomorrow probably, and I want to see if I can find it. I know I have it, but it was about the Atlanta police in the jails. Has anyone heard about this? Has anyone in the audience heard about what's going on in the Atlanta jails? It's very interesting. Let me see if I can find an article for you, and I know I have it here. Let me see where it is. I sent it to myself earlier, so I know I have it. Oh, here it is right here. So here's a headline. You can check this out. It was actually on YouTube.
Well, according to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office,
I'm going to share this tab with you.
Corporation has around 80 employees working inside the jail as
and I'm going to rewind this a little bit.
Office, this company, Strategic Security Corporation, has around 80 employees working inside the jail as security officers. But the company says it ceased all operations within the jail Thursday because the Sheriff's Office hasn't paid them in months. At an impromptu news conference Thursday night, Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt admitted the Sheriff's Office owed money to its security contractor, Strategic Security.
So it's nearly $1 million that ultimately over 3 months that we actually, from the perspective of unfunded or being able to not fund that properly, we owed that. And obviously, like any good business, they wanted their money.
And that's
now I want you to listen to what comes next.
Exactly what Strategic Security Corporation told us in a statement, saying it deeply regrets the necessity of having to terminate security services at the jail because it could create officer safety issues. But the company felt the Sheriff's Office left them no choice. We asked Sheriff Labatt why they hadn't paid the company for its services in the last 3 months.
So this is a budgetary issue. that we have continually fought for. And so we were not in a position, again, we talk about the historic underfunding of the sheriff's office, and that played a large part.
The company said it terminated services at the jail at 5 p.m., but Sheriff Labat says the company texted its workers to walk off the job much earlier in the day while they were trying to work things out with the company.
During our conversations today, during negotiations today, they actually told the people to abandon their post. And so at that point, I found that disingenuous, and we found a way to move forward.
Sheriff Labat says they've now offered jobs to 47 of the strategic security employees who worked at the jail. He says they have money.
So why not just hire them long before this? If you were able to hire 47 people almost on a dime, then why didn't you do that 2-3 weeks ago? Questions that only I would ask, huh?
Money in their vacancies budget to use for those hires, but says his office couldn't use those same funds to pay the company.
So again, there are two different buckets of money, right? One is contractual money, the other, what we're using, are monies that were gleaned from the vacancies.
Now, I did see several strategic security employees coming out of the sheriff's office after meeting with hiring officials. Now, the CEO of Strategic Security has agreed to an interview with Fox 5 tomorrow, so be sure to tune in because we're going to be bringing you much more on this developing story. Reporting in Fulton County, Eric Mock, Fox 5 News.
So basically, he was sitting on money, enough money to hire 47 people in a jail that was understaffed. And he didn't do it until his feet was absolutely to the fire. And then he hired probably the first 47 that he could hire. And those 47 is probably going to be criminals, people of low moral ethics. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, if you go back and like do some watch some videos on the Fulton County Jail, and you'll see this same guy blaming his predecessor. Bro, if the job was that bad, why the hell did you run for the position? You knew it was bad. But you're going to get in there and throw the last guy on the bus? And now 3 years later, it's still bad? The blame is now on you. Someone's going to take your place and be pointing the finger at you. And again, it's just another one of those things on a topic that I really want to cover, because I think all of this ties in with the Fannie Willis down in Atlanta, and a lot of the incompetence. It's not just corruption. A lot of this is truly incompetence. These people do not have the capabilities to run a jail, nor a district attorney's office. And when you combine that level of incompetence where people are sitting in jail for much longer than they should be, you're going to have overcrowding. And this man is downstream from Fannie Willis's incompetence to properly handle trials swiftly. And there's really nothing he can do because she's incompetent. And she's holding people in jail while they're waiting for trial. And she's backlogged. And, there really is no good answers for this other than to build a bigger jail, build a bigger, better jail. So anyway, just some interesting thoughts. Someone wants to know, what would you do if migrants ran up with guns? Man, I let off with that. I was just kind of role playing with a buddy of mine who's also a landlord. And I said, man, there's really nothing you can do because these people are willing to take it as far as you are over your property, but they're not fearing jail. And so that kind of really shifts the balance in their favor, because both of you are willing to do what you got to do. Seemingly, they're carrying rifles. They're not carrying them for no good reason, but they're not seemingly aren't willing to, aren't afraid to go into jail. And that really changes the dynamic, because most of the tenants that I've dealt with, they had some things that they didn't want to lose. Let's just say that, or didn't want to risk. With these people, I think the risk spectrum is shifted a little to the right in their favor. And that's going to make it very difficult. If you do encounter a situation like this, you're going to be at their mercy, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. Is there still an... If not, let me know. What's up, Momo? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, John? How you doing?
Hey, one day at a time, man. One day at a time.
Yeah, same here. I'm just here in Arizona,
Arizona.
I-15. You ever been north of Las Vegas?
Norfolk? I don't think so. No.
Yeah, so this is just I-15 from between Salt Lake City and Vegas. I'm hearing like a pretty cool looking ravine type of situation.
Man, it does look very nice. It does look very nice indeed. Very nice. Where are you headed? Momo? Yeah, you probably don't have good service out there. I was going to ask Momo, has he seen any migrants down in the Arizona area? I would assume that migrants are traveling through that area since it does share a border with Mexico. So that would be interesting if he's ever seen any migrants traveling in packs.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Momo, you ever seen migrants down
Okay,
there?
yeah. I, well, I was gonna say I was surprised that I have connection. I might cut out at any time because usually like one of these types of.
Yeah, you're cutting out right now. So, when you get back, if you can hear this question, have you seen any migrants in your travels through the Southwest? They should hand it over to a private correctional firm. That's the thing, man. And then people will be complaining about private prisons. Again, these people shouldn't be here. This whole thing about I think the whole legal immigration. I was reading an article from Andrew Anglin. He was making a good point. Like, couldn't they make all the illegal migrants legal? If you say you're for legal migrants or legal immigration, well, the government could easily just make all these people legal. Would you be okay with that? So, I think you're really concerned more about people that are trying to make a distinction between legal and illegal. I think you're just arguing a distinction without a difference in many cases because it really depends on who the government decides to make legal. And if it's a whole bunch of people from Venezuela, you're probably not going to be happy with that. That's just my thought. Momo, you there yet? Would John have to hire a security firm to protect me? The thing is, I don't think a security firm is the solution to that problem. Honestly, you're going to have the government going in there. If you have people armed, you can't go in and killing people. You make a mistake and kill the wrong person or your security kill the wrong person. The cost would just be astronomical. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people start living like they do in the third world, behind walls and fences and gates and things like that, where there's, razor wire on top or, things like that. As the crime ratchets up and the more sophisticated criminals enter America, and we've seen some home break-ins like in LA where they've been able to get around security systems to get in mansions and things like that. That's not your run-of-the-mill American crime, and I don't even think it's your sophisticated American criminals. They aren't really breaking into homes like that, and so I think you're going to see a lot of these people have more secure perimeters to their properties. Kind of like what you see in Africa or Jamaica, something like that. Momo, are you there yet?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear, loud and clear. Momo, have you ever
Okay,
seen
yeah.
any migrants down in your travels through the Southwest?
I'm sure that I have. But it's hard to see people specifically like in their cars. So it's like, but I'm for sure whenever, especially if I'm like driving I-10 or something, Southwest, the Four Corner states, all the border states. And you can notice it when you're like at a truck stop or you're at a certain stop. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have you seen like packs of people walking with backpacks on their back or something or what?
No, not specifically. The thing, it's hard for me to like, see that type of stuff because I'm outside of like hot zones of activity. You know what I mean? Because a lot of activity would be maybe down like Laredo or parts of Texas,
Mm.
even close to El Paso. Most of the time, I'm out here, kind of middle of nowhere, really, so I don't see too much in
Yeah,
that manner.
I was wondering if you've ever been closer to some of those border hotspots. It'd be interesting to get a trucker on here that has been close to those border hotspots. I would love to know kind of like what's the environment like down there with border patrol and things like that.
Yeah, I've picked up in Laredo a couple times. I don't really like going there too much. I know there was this one time I went to pick up something, and one of those warehouses was just a complete clusterfuck. I wasn't even able to pick anything up because I was like sitting, and the whole thing was filled. Like all the streets were filled with trucks, and I was waiting for like 4 hours to try and get in the gate, but the gate guard didn't know what the fuck was going on. I just ended up leaving. Yeah. Laredo's kind of crazy.
Load or without the load?
No, I just left without it, and I told them to cancel it.
Hey, Momo, man, I had a funny clip, man, since you're up here, not necessarily related to the topic. But I met a trucker the other day. I don't know if you got a chance to see that clip. Did you get a chance to see that clip of the trucker that I met at the bar in Brooklyn?
No, I didn't see that clip. Do you have it?
Yeah. He got a lot lizard, man. Has anyone in the chat seen that clip? And so we have a live. I have it up on the internet. I'm going to show it now. Has anyone seen that clip of the guy at the bar when I was doing the live interviews that got the lot lizard? Let me know if you saw that in the chat because I'm going to play it now. Let's see. Where is it? I think it's the videos here. I'm going to play this video for you. But it's kind of a funny clip. So he picks up a lot lizard in Maryland. And he talks about her. I'm going to see if I can. Let me see if I can play it. I got it right here, Momo. Let me know if you can hear it, Momo. Are you able to hear it, Momo?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right, it's coming up, Momo. My mic right here. I ain't bringing it to the headphones, so I just have to record it. All right, here's the camera right here. You kind of talk, man. We'll go up for 5 seconds or so. This is about a 50-year-old guy, Momo. You gotta come. I just move my camera. All right, let's do this. That gift, man. Joe. Hey, we're gonna get right down to business, man. Hey, we're gonna get right down to business, my man. What you got any social media? Where?
I got an Instagram for the mural for higher intention motivation. HIRAM TENC_USA. I mean,
so you
mural.
In houses anywhere.
In houses, where the spray cake.
What's the last mural you did?
Last mural I did was for a company called Jump Team. They do jump and heat.
Man, you got
53 foot, 18 years.
Oh, man, you gotta subscribe to the show, man. Overnight, we do a truck show.
Oh, yeah?
Hey.
And what y'all talking about the truck, man?
A little bit of everything. A little bit of
Good
truck,
stuff, the bad stuff.
a little bit of trucking, a lot of lizards, you know what I mean?
Oh, buddy, and rest stop reptiles.
You heard that, Mama?
Yeah, I'm just fueling up, so I'll just be listening. Yeah.
She wanted $50 for a half hour. $50, I ain't give her a half hour.
You give her a half hour?
About 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
Yeah, that's what oh, hell yeah. It was working after too.
Where were you?
I was in Monrovia, Maryland. I'm not going to tell you the warehouse. Come on now. And at this particular warehouse, if you pull in, you can't pull out. So I stayed out there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to name it. I know I should have outside the warehouse. What I had to do.
Can't pull out.
Right.
So you
I stayed on the outside, and then had to do it, and then went inside. Got off.
You heard that, Bobo? Hey, Bobo, so he says, Someone said there's an echo when I play the video. Oh man, I don't know how to resolve that. Maybe my mic is too high. I don't know. But anyway, Momo, the guy is saying you can go watch it yourself. The guy is saying that I guess he was pulling into a warehouse that when you pull in, you can't pull out. So he had this prostitute, and so he stayed outside of the warehouse so he could sleep with the prostitute. You got to check it out, Momo. You know what else he was telling me? He
Is it?
said,
It's up on a video on your channel.
"Yeah, I'm gonna put it. I'll put the link to it right now in the chat."
Okay.
You know what
Yeah.
else? You know what else he went on to say, Momo? He said he was
What
driving
is
in New York City. He said he was driving in New York City and called 911 on himself. You can hear it in the video. He says it right after this. He
really
says,
what
man,
he needed for, basically?
he said he got so nervous, he didn't know where to go. He said he didn't know what to do. So he called 911 and they told him what to do. I said, man, actually it was pretty smart, man, because you run over a bridge or something. And he said they told him what to do. And that's how I kind of
Yeah, that's pretty smart. There was this one guy I saw. He worked for like Western Express, and he probably should have done that because his company did some messed up thing with his truck where it would slow the truck down to 2 miles an hour whenever he was approaching a low bridge. And all the bridges in the area of New York were labeled with too low, even though they changed the height. So he was just, yeah. He should have called 911.
Man, I was right outside of New York in Jersey once, and a lady ran up on I guess it was a bridge or something, right outside of Jersey. Those highways are very narrow. And she just stopped the bus. It was a mega bus, it's like a double-decker mega bus. And I guess she didn't know how tall her bus was, but the sign was clear on the bridge, and she refused to move forward. So we just sat there until she got in touch with someone at Megabus and told her that the bus would go under that bridge. But if she knew how tall her bus was, and
Yeah.
I guess she was just so damn afraid of hitting the bridge.
Well, yeah, it's smart because you don't want to end up. I've seen some videos of like people who set up their webcam to a certain height bridge, and they do this. They call it like the can opener, and you just see people just rip off the whole top of their stuff. So yeah, it's better to avoid that.
Hey, Momo, what do you think about these migrants up in Colorado, man?
I didn't see the story. What was the issue? I mean, they're everywhere at this point, but they're causing a ruckus all over the place.
Basically, migrant gangs have taken over apartment buildings in Aurora.
Really?
Right.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so matter of fact, I'll play it for you again, just since you joined late. And so the police, the city mayor is saying it really ain't my fault. It's the landlord's fault because he's out of town. Here, let me play it for you again.
Several buildings, actually under the same ownership, out-of-state ownership, that have fallen to these Venezuelan gangs. I'm trying to walk it back and do the investigation as to how there's concentration of Venezuelans in these three buildings. Somebody put them there, and somebody funded it. Whether it's federal government or not, we're trying to find out who. These gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants, and so they've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. We have now
collected the rents. Did you hear that, Momo? Momo may have faded away.
Yes, I do hear it. You still have a little bit of the echo issue, but that's insane. I mean, it's a little surprising, but it's not too surprising considering all the NGOs involved with getting those guys around all throughout the U.S. I remember it was like 2 years ago. I was up in Arcadia, friggin' Minnesota or something, just in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't expect migrants to be there. But the only businesses I saw open were taco shops, and the only children I saw were Mexican children or some form of South American. So they've been doing it for a long time, getting them all around everywhere. So yeah, it's crazy.
there's some things that I am listening to. Said this is bullshit. There's some things that I hear, which clearly are the problem to me. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit for people who are interested in becoming a landlord. This is what I would avoid.
Now,
honestly,
have had.
I go back.
It is ongoing
Let's see if I can go back a
operations.
few seconds here.
Federal government or not, we're trying to find out who these gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants.
That's it right there. If you find yourself with a concentration of Venezuelan migrants in your building, no offense to the Venezuelan people, they're probably very nice people. But, a lot of times these people come from countries, where I say the strong man wins. And if the drug dealers and gangsters are willing to come in and enforce the law, those people will voluntarily pay those men rent. And I think, for an out-of-state landlord, he's very susceptible to something like that. Like you come back one day and everybody's paying rent to the drug cartel. What could you do? It's not a lot you could do. They're going to have a meeting with God that day. Man, like I'm telling you, man, like you don't want to go to prison killing one of these people, defending some property. Honestly, if it gets to that point, you really have to ask yourself, is it worth it, to be honest with you? Like, because those people really are willing to, like I'll show you the videos. You saw the videos, you saw the pictures, you see the kind of guns they have. Here's the gun, here are the guns. And matter of fact, I'm going to keep playing the video a little bit so you can see it for yourself. I mean, they're breaking into an apartment here. Take a look. Look over the guy's shoulder.
So they've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. We have now or have had, it is ongoing operations with a task force of local law enforcement, state law enforcement partners, and federal law enforcement partners to root them out. And arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
With the arrests that have been made, are these confirmed gang-affiliated members?
This is an organized criminal effort. Whether it's Tren de Aragua, that remains to be seen. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, if they're Venezuelan migrants and they're conducting crime in an organized manner, they're repelled.
Look at that rifle. It's kitted out. I mean, he just didn't pull out a rifle. He got a scope. Hell, it even looks like a baton at the end.
So, okay, so you're able to confirm that this Venezuelan gang has indeed taken over at least some of the buildings. You're saying at least 2 of the 3. And what I just heard from you is you don't know how they ended up there. And you even made a suggestion that they could have been sent there by federal officials. I heard you suggest. I mean, do you have any reason to believe that to be the case?
So here's the problem. I think we're a victim of a failed policy at the southern border because what you have, Venezuela does not cooperate, according to my law enforcement, Venezuela does not cooperate with the United States in sharing criminal history.
Venezuela does not cooperate with the United States in sharing criminal histories. That's worse than a roll of the dice. You just letting anyone come
You had a third of the country leave. You've had these massive waves of migrants coming across the border that many of them crossed the border illegally, were arrested, asked for political asylum, were not adequately vetted, were released into the country. The city of Aurora, we did everything we could to quite frankly keep them out of the city because it's not our problem. This is a federal problem. This is a problem borne by the federal government. But what we're trying to find out, and what I believe occurred, was that federal agencies worked with some of our local nonprofits and put them there. Now, most of these people are very good.
They always have to say that.
Good people. But there's a criminal element that, from what I understand, what law enforcement is briefing, that often follows them, intends to exploit them within their own migrant community. And so we believe that is happening now. Now we're the 51st largest city in America. We're with over 400,000 in population. This is only several apartment complexes.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm not going to surrender any part of this city to a criminal element.
With all due respect, it's no longer, I mean, just in the hands of the feds when you've got, we've heard reports that this gang has green-lighted its members to attack your local police. What are you doing about that, Mayor?
Well, we're aware of that in the Denver metropolitan area, that there are elements of Trinidad Aragua here. And so, we're, in terms of how our police operate, the tactics, what they're doing to protect themselves, is our number one priority. So there are several buildings.
I mean, there's really nothing they can do, man. Like they, hey, what's up, DG? There's really nothing they can do, with the tattered police force that they have. You're really on your own out there, to be quite honest with you, in my opinion. As a landlord, you get those guys in there. I've had the guy Philippe on my stream. You're looking at a year from a legal process. And by that time, these guys will have torn your place up. You wouldn't even know who you evicted. Now, you have to have the name of the person that you're evicting. If a bunch of migrants move in, you don't know what their name is. You probably can't even legitimately identify them. So I think that's some of the problems. And for the landlords out here, I think, as I've said all along, I think it's become more of a more tribal America, in that this may bring Americans together because we probably will deliberately discriminate against migrants if given the opportunity. I'll open it up to you guys for thoughts here. I'm a little distracted, I'll be honest. Someone just opened my door. Let's see. I'll put the link in the chat. Anyone have any questions? It's going to be a short stream. Otherwise, I'll answer any questions. What would I do if I were faced with a bunch of Latino gangsters? I've had that issue before. As I said, it wasn't, luckily, they left without an issue. But, if they're giving me issues, to be quite honest, and they were in my basement, and that's a very vulnerable place for to rent to someone, anyone, because all of your utilities are typically in the basement. So with that said, you have to be very, very discriminate about who you rent to when you're putting someone in your basement, even more so than your regular place. As I said, the biggest solution to that is my approach is, hey, what's up, Latino for Trump?
Hey, how you doing, John?
Hey, what's up, man? The biggest solution I would offer you is don't rent the entire place anymore. You heard the lady from Bed-Stuy, and I don't know if I played her stream yet. You know what? I am going to play. What's up, DG? We've been doing some live streaming, and there are a couple of themes that I think we've hit on from the live streaming. And here's one that is real estate related. Again, to kind of coincide with the theme here. And I'm going to see if I can find that one. This is the lot lizard guy, but let me find the lady. Hold on for 1 second here, guys. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but there's also I believe Florida and Texas are the only two states that actually have you protect yourself if something like this happens.
Yeah, I don't know what the rental laws are like in Texas, but I imagine it goes city by city.
Yeah.
And so in these liberal cities, like Austin, you could really be caught up in a jam like that. And
that's why I'm glad.
Are you in Texas?
No, I'm in Massachusetts, but I'm just glad that where I'm from, it's mostly conservative. So.
Hey, how's the echo in my
Nah, I don't hear no echo.
All right, I want to play you guys this video right here. Let me see if you're able to hear. this is a lady. I'm going to give you the background on her. I encourage you to go listen to the video. The audio is not that great, so I may have to talk you through it. But here's a lady. I interviewed her on the street in Bed-Stuy. She's a black Bed-Stuy landlord. She hasn't received rent in 3 years. And what's most interesting about this is that she told me that the market rate rent for her apartment in Bed-Stuy, 2-bedroom, full floor apartment. That's, man, like you don't really find those often.
That she
2,800.
hasn't paid rent in 3 years, or they haven't paid
No,
her rent?
her tenant has not paid in 3 years.
Oh, Jesus
But
Christ.
the more interesting story, as I say, is that she has an affinity. She doesn't like gentrification. So it's a 2-part video, and I'm going to show you the second part. But in the first part, she talks about how she wanted to do a favor for the culture for black people, and she gave a lady a discounted rent of $1,200 when she could have been collecting $2,800 in rent. And so I asked her, I said, well, how did that turn out for you? She says, I haven't collected any rent in 3 years. I said, wow, 3 years. 3 years, man. And it's New York. You get someone in your place, and you may or may not get
It's
rent.
not only in New York, dude. The same
Yeah.
thing happened here. Some lady still living there since COVID and still hasn't
Yeah.
paid rent. 3 years now.
Yeah, these things do happen, man. These things do happen. And, these are regular people where you probably could reason with the person. But when you're dealing with the migrants, man, that's a whole nother beast there. So it's 3 years. Man, let me play this video. Hey, Seven Steel, I see you here, man. Did you hear the beginning of the story about the migrants taking over the apartment buildings in Aurora? Pretty amazing, bro. Stanley talking politics. I bet the landlord isn't thinking politics at all. He's just thinking, like, how the hell do I get these people out of my place?
Man, what I'm thinking is all the hard work and sweat and sacrifice and all the overtime and all the grind to get those properties, for somebody else to just come and take it from you, man. It's like, nah, dude, that's not the
You would
American
think that you could call, what's that one department that deals with illegal, is supposed to deal with the illegal immigrants?
ICE.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
they're not
You
going
would
to do
think, but
anything.
they don't, because the current administration has rendered them impotent, I suppose.
Man, I think many of these cities, even if you look at the lady who's being interviewed, the city councilwoman, she said, we love migrants. How the hell do you love somebody that you don't even know? Like, I can understand loving all human beings.
The reason why they love them, John, is you have to understand they get I believe they get subsidized for each person that comes into towards that city. So they're getting a whole bunch of money.
I mean, I can understand a nonprofit loving a migrant. Hell yeah, it breeds, it's the butter to your bread. But the regular person, the regular random person, like, I'm not saying you should hate anyone. At best, you should be ambivalent to someone that you don't know, or indifferent may be the better word. But here's someone saying, we love migrants. We want more migrants. We, just want them to be legal. As I said, man, once you get down in the muck of legal versus illegal, the government can make them all legal. Would you be okay with that? Probably not. So I just think that it's all kind of propaganda in a way.
It's really not that complicated, man. Like if this guy had it under control for 4 years, I mean, Jesus Christ. Take a page out of his book.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. One more thing I was going to show you. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh, it was the lady that wasn't getting any rent. Let me share that with you. But I invite you to go take a look at it as well. Did I just leave? Okay, give me 1 second. All right, let me share that screen with you. And I hope you can hear this audio. If not, I'll have to kind of fill in the blanks for you.
You believe like you make a lot of money, right? What's the money? Can you tell us what specifically you do in the entertainment industry?
Well, she's talking about being in the entertainment industry. I'll fast forward that. Okay. Yeah. I think it's back here. What do you do in the? Can you tell us what's and it's okay? Really, that's interesting. How long have you been doing that? I want to find it exactly. Let me see. No. What kind of work do you do? Let me see. I think so at the beginning. I'm sorry. You have this. Oh, you own the property, right? Yeah, in your rent?
No, I have not raised my rent.
Why not?
Because I believe the people that live here should still be able to.
You think they should still be able to live here? So what are you under marketing the rent that you know? And so you could raise rent on people. Are these black people that you refuse to, or the white people who are your I'm a landlord too. This is the urban landlord, and I am John Galt. And so this is interesting that we talk about here is the real estate conversation in the center. So how many units?
Because then it's
you have established tenants, and you have let's establish it like this. You have good tenants. You don't want to lose them. They just happen to be that. And right, that's fair, right? How long have they been there with you? More than a year, 2 years, 3 years. And how are your tenants so far?
They bring the cabinet, they bring the cabinet.
Have you ever had eviction? Are you able to hear that, guys? She said she's trying to evict someone right now. Someone saying an echo during the video. Let me make sure. I'm gonna turn my mic down a little bit or something.
There is an echo on the video, but I'm hearing what she's saying.
All right, let me see if this helps out a little bit. So at this point, she says she's trying to evict someone right now, right? And she's going to tell you how little this person is paying. In the building that you're talking about? And how much is their rent? When you say low, like New York, people don't know what's low. For a whole apartment or a room? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
1,200 for an entire floor.
That's ridiculous, bro.
Now we've been hearing people in New York paying $1,700.
I have my wife's best friend. She's also going through that same situation. Went through court and battling, and this is in New Jersey, and back and forth. Also, she's been there since COVID, and this lady ended up like breaking stuff in the house and stuff, and like the court had to basically the court made the landlord have to pay for the fixing of the house, which is crazy.
Yeah, now you have to do that. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, bro. Like it's not even worth the investment.
You know, if you try to evict someone and your house is not up to standard, they won't evict that person. Like you'll have to get the house up to standard.
Yeah, that's why this person did
that. That's how crazy as hell. But it's very true. Let me see if I can get to play the last bit of this. And how many bedrooms? And how many more? 2 bedrooms, she said.
3 years.
3 years behind. You heard that? 3 years. 3 years. This is why I don't give people any breaks, man. You give someone a break and that just becomes your rent. Hey, man, take $500 off your rent. Okay. His mind will now associate his rent being $500 less. He doesn't see you having given him a discount and being gracious. He said, damn, my rent's still X minus 500. And he knows I'm doing him a favor.
All I know is
this lady cut this woman's rent by more than half. She said she could be getting $2,800.
And she still couldn't pay the damn thing. Like, come on, bro.
No, she could pay it, bro.
No, I know, but I'm saying that she don't want to.
Don't want to pay it, right? Because she knows she got her by the balls. Because she know that woman is not willing to
rules,
do it.
man.
She's not willing to do. She's not willing to break the rules, right?
Yeah, but the rules,
now the tenant is clearly willing to break the rules, right? The tenant is breaking the rules, but the woman is not willing to break the rules. She want to go by the rules. And what she gonna find out when she go to court and try to put that woman out, she gonna find out that all the rules are in that woman's favor.
Yep.
And she did it to try to help a black person. She did it to try to help a black person and to keep the white people out.
That's nuts.
And look what happened to her. Because in part one, she talks about how she did it. She lowered her rent to help fellow black people, right? She doesn't need a lesson from me. I totally joined.
That's so crazy because look at me, my situation. So my landlord, when I used to live in an apartment in Boston, we were paying, when we first moved there, we were paying $1,350. We lived there for about what, seven years or so. By the time we left, we were paying $2,500. The same, nothing has been renovated, nothing, whatever, right? Cool. We talked to the landlord, and we literally we had him write an email and everything, telling asking him that we're going to break the lease 3 months early in advance if that's okay. He said that's okay. If you could get somebody to rent it, that'll be even better. Awesome. Long story short, he ended up taking us to court. He ended up winning the case, and we ended up having to pay him the remaining $7,500. Which is crazy. And I'm hearing all these stories of people that don't have to pay anything. It's just like, what the hell? You do things right and it don't work out for you.
Hey, did you have a lawyer?
Yeah.
Did you have a lawyer?
Yeah, we had a lawyer and everything.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing that you lost that one.
Yeah. I'm still paying right now. We owe them what? Like, I believe $4,200.
Hey, Stanley, I see your chat. Oh, that's DG. I'm sorry. This is going to be somewhat of a short stream, man. We can go over to HB stream and carry it.
But I have a landlord question.
Yeah, we got time for a couple questions, but it's not going to be emotional. Go ahead.
If you're a young person, like, does a young person, say, coming out of high school or college, how do you become a landlord?
I mean, just buy your first place. What I would say is probably, man, that's the easiest time, to be honest with you, man.
Can I tell you how I did?
Yeah, go ahead, sure.
So me and my wife, we came to a point where we was just like, why are we paying all this money if we could just pay for something that is ours and we could sell it in the future and have some type of money. Well, so what we did was we thought, we were young, but we level-headed, so we had stocks. And basically we had some money saved up, about 10 grand, and we basically sold some of the stocks and got 15 off of that, and that was it. That was the down payment, and now we've been here for 3 years.
Okay, my actual question is, why would a young person, say, out of college, fresh off out of college or fresh out of high school, maybe inherited some property, why would he or she want to be a landlord?
Well, honestly, I think that probably is the easiest time, bro. It's the easiest time. Yeah. Because your social network is going to be the widest at that point in time. You're a 23-year-old guy, let's say you move to a city like DC or Atlanta, you should know some people. You got plenty of time and energy. I'm telling you more or less my story, that you may have 2 or 3 friends in your house paying rent, right? And that'll get you through the first one, at the least, while you're young. You know what I mean? couple of buddies. Y'all can kind of rough it. The house ain't got to be perfect. And then you kind of learn your way how to be a landlord, meeting people to know how to do a little work. Maybe you can refer somebody to them. I'm assuming you're talking about like your son. But it's very easy then. What I found is the older you get, the harder it gets.
Yeah, that's true.
Try to get in, because, like, think about how many people got the energy of someone like me. I'm 49 years old. You think the average 49-year-old want to deal with some shit like what you see me dealing with, pulling long ass dreadlocks out of tubs, right? Most people ain't gonna want to do it, man. So they're gonna want
Well,
to.
you're talking about you as an older person. What would a 23-year-old? Why would a 23-year-old want to be? Why would a 23-year-old want that kind of career?
Well, it may not be a career per se. I'm just saying, let's say if you're a 22-year-old, and there's a story I want to pull up one day from the Washington Post, but it was about a bunch of 20-some-year-olds out of Georgetown or somewhere. They all bought a house together in Howard, Detroit Park area, if you're familiar with DC. And then they ended up selling the house, and maybe they walked away with about $1 million total, split, And I think as young people, you have the most flexibility in your life to take risks, and look at all these people we've interviewed that live with roommates. When you're young and you're willing to share a shower, a tub, a toilet with someone, put your heads together, and instead of paying rent, just buy that asset.
Yeah.
There's young people out here, like we talk to them all the time. They're paying $2,100, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the other girl right next to
So,
you. Hold on.
so does being a landlord make you a better person? Does it make you more?
No, but it gives you a better peace
No,
of mind. Because
I'm talking to John.
No, hold on. Now, I'm not talking about morals or anything like this, but what I can say, I
Mm-hmm.
was walking home today. And what I can say, though, Stanley, and again, this is my own opinion, it's my lived experience. I've learned more about the way of the world as a landlord than all the schooling, almost all the raising from it. I think I've had good
John
parents,
freezing over.
but nothing has taught me the real
Sorry
world,
about that.
unlike landlord. Like when I was a software developer, I'm still a software developer, in my mind. Everybody's smart, right? Everybody's smart. They're logical. But as a landlord, like, you're dealing with a wide spectrum of everybody. The stratosphere. You got electricians, plumbers, people in trades, people in acting, marketing, people on drugs, people not on drugs, people that don't drink at all, vegans, like transgenders. I deal with all of these types of people. In no other profession, I can't think of any, where you have to deal with these people, and not only deal with them, but in their most intimate setting. I have to go in their room. You've seen me go in their room, pull bottles of piss out of their room. No other profession did. So you do kind of get to see the real world as it is. When you see people out on the street, they're dressed up, they look nice. But when they go back home, only the landlord, the police, and the social worker knows how people really live.
So has that made you a better person? And actually, what I'm getting at is knowing the
I don't know,
intimate
man. My
details about how.
property now is worth.
Okay, why are you talking when I'm talking to John?
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I'm saying that my property is worth.
Stanley, finish it.
I don't
I'm
care.
here to debate with you.
You know what? Every time I ask a question, a bunch of people hop up.
Yeah, Stanley, no, let me answer your
That
question.
bunch of people is Duarte here, brother.
You know what?
John.
I'm gonna mute and let Duale answer.
No, go ahead. Cause it's not gonna be a long stream, and it's about.
I think I'm done. All I'm saying is that if dealing with people's real lives makes you a better person, then good for you.
Well, again, I'm not saying it makes you a better person. I'm not judging. Am I a better person? That's not what I'm here to say, right? Because in some cases, it probably has made me a worse person. Understand? If I hadn't seen a lot of things that I've seen, if I had just been stuck in my cube writing software, a lot of my viewpoints would be different, probably a whole lot softer and more amenable to people. I will say that. But being a landlord has allowed me to see a side of the world, how people really live, that I don't think I would have seen it, and I didn't see it as a software developer. You know, man, I've told you the story.
Do you think seeing that side of the world, would you do it all over again?
For me, yeah, man, I enjoy it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do, man. You know, like, I was just about to tell you a story. I had to leave my job one day, and I've told you the story before. I had to leave my job and go clean up a murder scene. And then I went in that apartment building. I showed you the murder scene, right? You know, where it all happened. And, man, like, it probably ain't but a handful of people in this country that would go do that shit without, like, any kind of, like, hesitancy. It's like, man, let me go there and clean this blood up, get it over with, so I can get somebody else back in here, And I was cleaning up a room on CT stream one time, and I ain't even had gloves on. I picked up a jar of piss, right? You might remember that. Not many people are just gonna do that shit, man. And I ain't necessarily doing it for the money. I mean, I'm doing it for the money, don't get me wrong, but I could go do something else very easily. But it keeps pulling me back. It keeps pulling me back in. It doesn't. It ain't for everybody, but it does give you an understanding of the way of the world, unlike anything I've ever been able to experience. To be honest with you, hey, what's up, Diwali? I'll bring you back. But it's not gonna be a long stream, to be honest with you. Somebody else just joined. Who is that? Wicked World. What's up, man? Wicked Week, and I know I'm off topic here, but whenever it's hard for me to catch you, and I don't get a chance to go on Arc as much anymore. But man, I wanted to get with you and do a stream with you on you working in Cook County, man. You still working there?
Put it like this, bro. I'm not with the guys on the pods anymore. Not right now,
Well, you got it suspended or something?
No. Put it like this, man. Hard work, rewards, yada yada. You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't forget the stories, I'm sure.
Oh no. Look, man. I caught what you said a second ago, brother, and this is the thing, John. Men like Stanley will never understand the statement you just said, right? About understanding the unfortunate truth about human nature and behavior, right?
Yeah.
They'll never understand the laziness, the predatory behavior, the violence, the selfishness, the danger.
Yeah, being a naval officer and leading in the Navy, no, I'll never understand that part.
What's up, bro?
What did you do, Stanley?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on.
John, can you hear me?
We got a caller. Hold on. Yeah, you on with John Galt. Who's
John?
calling? Hello? You on with John Galt? Who's calling? Hello? You on with John Galt? Who's calling? I don't know.
I'm talking to you. Are you here?
Hey, John, this guy says he was a naval officer. Look how he, John, he doesn't know shit about shit, John. Naval officer, and you talking like that? Come on, boy.
Man, I don't want to get into a back and forth, because again, like, I've never been a naval officer. I can't speak on it.
Well, so many
Hey,
do.
John.
I'm going to let you speak. Dude, you don't know me.
I heard the nonsense you spew.
John, am I on the panel? Can you hear me?
You're on the panel. I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, John?
We can hear you.
I am Duale. Can you hear me, please? Or you're just fucking ignoring me?
Are you drunk again, bro? Were you drinking with? Yeah, I hear him. Are you drunk with Stanley, Duale? Were you drinking with Stanley earlier?
All right.
What
Now
you don't want any part of this. I'm not drunk, but dude, you might want to focus your attention a different way. You don't know me,
All right,
and you don't ask me. You're on John's show, and I'm going to be polite.
Hold on, guys. We only have about 15 minutes to go, so we want to try to get everything addressed real quick, and then we can go over HB's channel and then finish it up. Dwale, Stanley, Wicked World, whoever was talking, one at a time, though. Go right ahead.
All right. Okay. I just want to ask you, John, what's your opinion? The people who are coming to America legally, not just illegally, legally.
As I said to you, Dwale, earlier, I was reading something earlier today, and it really changed my whole mind about this thing. Shit, the government can change who's legal, who's not, in a drop of a dime. So, legal, illegal. I mean, the government make the rules. They can change who's legal, who's not, in a drop of a hat. And so, from that standpoint, if I were to be fair, I think we have too many more problems to be trying to, bring any other people in. That's just my own personal opinion. You got to start.
I get you. You have problem. Yeah, I know. You could have problem with the HB visas, but what a good problem with people like Stanley. He can't just even make a point because we always argue. Me and Stanley cook each other. As you see my accent, as you see my accent, I am somebody who's coming to America legally for the last 5 years. You know how much fortune that I pay come to America legally with my wife and my children.
And Dwale, not to cut you off, but I think just like so many other Americans that go about their day abiding by the law, and they're looking like they're suckers because there are people that don't abide by the law and they're getting away with everything. I've shown you the people, the migrants riding the scooters in DC making $1,100 a week, while people driving cars in DC are getting saddled with tickets. It's just the way it is, man. Unfortunately, is that in
for
America,
the last 3 of no, John, you have to be very honest.
Tell John how many times. Tell John how many times you've attempted to do it legally.
Right. Hey, we're not gonna talk about immigration here. Like I said,
Dwale needs to understand that. Don't put my name in your mouth if you can't debate me. Son.
Right. We got Mike up here. Let me see if he has a question here. Mike, do you have
what I found problematic was 3 or the 4 years or the 2-3 years.
We're gonna go over
that put my applications fuck.
Hey,
so what I'm saying is,
all right, we're gonna talk about that over at HB, man. But like we only have like 15 minutes. I only have 13 more minutes. I want to try to keep it strict to real estate here. But we can definitely cover the immigration because it is a topic of interest of mine. Mike, what's up? You got questions?
You guys, whether you are Republicans or whether you are Democrats, you should create between legals and.
DG, you got a question for me? Because I only have about 12 more minutes here. You have a question? Mike, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
you
come on, man. Yeah, but when you were talking about, being a landlord, you see a lot of nasty stuff, and I can concur with that. I did carpet cleaning and restoration.
Yeah.
And you have to go into, if you see the way some people live, it will make you sick to your stomach. And I just wanted to. I understand. I used to see you go into someone's house, and on the outside, it's a nice house.
Yeah.
You walk inside, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Man,
we don't care about any of this. This is what y'all don't understand. No one told you to do this.
No, I
Are you talking to me? Are you talking? No, you're talking to me.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
Stanley.
you're the one on screen, and you and John. No.
Right. I got it, Stanley. We're trying to keep it tight.
Oh,
I
Lord.
understand that no one told him to do it, and that's fair. You are definitely correct about that. But he is doing it, and he's just telling you his experience. Just like no one told you to go in the Navy, but you went in the Navy and you gained some experience from that is unique to you. And I think that just like what he's saying, you can go up to a very nice house, as you're saying, and it could be filthy, right? Is that what you're saying, Mike?
Yeah.
Right.
House torn up. Mm-hmm.
Right. And by and large, you go in there, you see it. You're really not dealing with the tenant for payment. You may be dealing with the homeowner, right?
Yeah.
And homeowner may live there, but if it's a tenant, right, you don't have to deal with her for payment, right?
No.
And so the landlord has to deal with the tenant that's poured juice, red wine, walked in there with mud on the shoes and everything else. You've probably seen all these type of things. And I think that level of just not giving a damn about where they live. And so when you hear people say everybody wants a decent place to live, yeah, but it's relative.
Yeah.
There's some people that would diligently take their shoes off when they walk in the house, as an example. And there are other people that walk in the house with mud on the boots, right? People live very differently. And I think, you don't see that when you see them coming to work. But when you go inside their house, you see something totally different that may be presented to you outside.
Yeah.
And go ahead. Were you about to say something, Mike?
Yeah, and we used to do that seems clean up, and it never bothered me. It never bothered me, but it is. You have to be real careful. We wore Tyveks, suits, respirators, all that stuff, because you're picking up all kinds of nasty stuff. But
oh, wait a minute, were you the dead bodies, or were you just cleaning up the blood?
Not the body. No, all the remaining. Man. Yeah.
Man, I tell you, I cleaned up a dead body scene where a guy bled out in my apartment building. And I showed that apartment building on the stream about a week or so ago. Man, dude bled out in my apartment building, man. I don't know if I had a Tyvek suit. I doubt it.
You got to be careful, man, because you never know. The biggest thing was what was the biggest thing?
Hepatitis.
Tuberculosis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I was thinking hepatitis.
That too. Hepatitis. And you don't know if they're HIV positive. Or you don't know, so you have to just make sure you touch it with any kind of your bare hands or anything like that.
Yeah. Somebody says I did have gloves on. I will say that. You buy property now, you're going to be underwater in the mortgage. It depends on where you're buying, what the price is.
And it depends. It depends if you win it solo, you don't have the money for it too.
Right. The price is everything. You get a good price, you're not going to be underwater on the mortgage. The rate doesn't even really matter. You get a good price.
The rate is the one that matters the most.
Right. Look, it's
1.9, baby.
Look, it's three things for a mortgage, right? It's the price. What is it? The price, the interest, and what's the other one? The price, the interest. You get the price for the house. Then, you got the interest, and then you got the interest rate, and I guess then the terms, right? 30 years, whatever. That's your price right there, right? If you can get a good enough price, then the rate really doesn't matter, right? Or you get a low enough rate, the price
You can be honest.
Right.
Look, we could take out the equity right now if we wanted to, but we're
if you got equity in the house, I'm not suggesting that's what you should do, but
no. We got plans. Once the house is like, I don't know, 85% paid off, then maybe we'll take out that equity, purchase another home, sell it or rent it, and just
Here's someone said people are not
American dream, baby.
People are not inheriting property like they used to. I have a thought about that. I think, hey, Stanley, I'm bringing you back. Again, I'm not trying to debate Stanley. We're just talking a little real estate, good, bad, indifferent, just some things we've seen. People are not inheriting property like they used to. I think that the reverse mortgage has a big effect on that. That the reverse mortgage is causing people to not leave their properties because they're spending the money during their lifetime. I'm not sure how big of an effect, but I've known a couple of people that have had reverse mortgages on their property, so effectively they did not leave anything for inheritance. It was used up on medical care, things like that, which could also be discussed in the fact that A lot of Americans don't have the multi-generational housing. Hence, they have to spend a lot of money on late life care, whatever they call it, late in life care.
And then you got maintenance. AC goes out. Or you got a hole in the roof. And all this. You got insects. All this stuff factors into being a landlord. It really does.
I've gained the wealth of knowledge and experience being a landlord the last 8 years. Yeah, I bet you had. I think you were telling me you had a tenant that wasn't paying or you was giving you a hard time. Man, that will teach you. If it doesn't break you, it will teach you lessons like you never ever.
It's dark, but look at my big backyard. Look at yeah, come on, man. It's dark, but come on, man. Like, stop playing, dude.
This is so fucking low rent. No one cares about your backyard.
I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing back then.
And it's the greatest thing, but dude, you act like the only way. You know what?
When I was living
You
in
know
the
what?
city,
And
it was
I
all
am
rampant.
wrong for even tuning in. All I have to say to Mike and John, and you can get some of this too, Latino. Don't care.
Then tune out. Why you come up here and attack?
No, you're right. I should tune out. All I have to say, and specifically to you, Michael, yeah, I was in the Navy, but I don't fucking get on YouTube and complain about it.
Yeah.
Did I didn't ask you a question.
Yeah, right there.
Are you okay, man? You have some of that episode? No, you're just talking to people for no reason.
I was okay until you brought your dumb ass up here. Michael, I don't care. Latino, let's say that. Michael, you're a pussy, and I'm tired of hearing you complain.
All right. We have
John, why would you have someone like this on your panel, bro? This is a disgusting human being.
I know. Come on, Stanley.
So I can tell you.
Stanley's not. He's just misunderstood.
5 more minutes.
Just misunderstood.
Yeah.
Give me 5 more minutes, guys. Just want to go through we can go over the HB stream.
What stream it was like a HV? What is it like? Does it have a whole name?
No. HB is just our.
It's in the same channel.
Yeah, it's the same channel. You're on the same channel right now. We just stream simultaneously from time to time on little niche topics here, and then that channel is more of our broad channel where we, stream where we're doing, a lot of just open panels as well as just general business talk. We have a lot of interviews over there. But here I just come do some hit topic, just hit on the topic.
Yeah.
And we got 46 people in the building here. Let me answer a few more of these questions because people have been asking me to just discuss this migrant thing, how it would approach it. I am a landlord, by the way. Hey, how did you find the site, this channel, by the way, Mike?
It just popped up. I'm not. Yeah, it just said you were live, and I remember I think I talked to you on CTs.
Okay, yeah, we stream 24 hours a day for the most part, so you can always make sure you subscribe here.
Definitely, I will. I was like, I know this guy.
I know Mike.
Glad you're here. Let's see, Stanley, man. I wasn't trying to be dismissive to you, man. I'm just trying to get through it very quickly. There's a certain psychology you learn to landlord, especially when, man, listen. I've had peers, man, you riding high, man, everybody's paying you. And I need to be fair and honest with you, I'd be like itching for someone not to pay to give me something to do. Sometimes you get bored, just, everybody's paying smoothly. But when they don't pay you and then when they hunker down and don't want to leave, man, it's a feeling like you've never seen before because you are in some sense powerless. You can't just go and do what you want to do. You have to think it through, kind of a Machiavellian type approaching people who, you kind of have to, in my sense, I term it, you have to use their momentum against you, against them in some way, like a jujitsu. I think that's jujitsu. But you had definitely, I've never had to beat up a tenant or anything like that. But you definitely have to think, man. You gotta think, man. What in terms of what are people's base motivations, things like that. How to get someone out of your house and motivate them to get out of your house without having to kill them. You know what I mean? And so,
because that's your livelihood. That's your livelihood.
Well, a lot of people, I think, want you to go that direction. You understand? So you really have to resist that because that is what they want you to. They want you to get violent because that gives them leverage. That's their home field advantage because now they can file a restraining order on you and then you can't even come to your property. So you have to really resist that, man. Hey, Devotee, I see your comment. Send me an email. I'm going to put that. and we can discuss. You come up on the panel next time I do this. I think I'm going to kind of do this regular. Oops, I misspelled it. I think I'm going to do this regularly. Just go through some real estate topics whenever I see them in the news. The power company is calling. Is your refrigerator running? I mean, you can't cut it.
That's another good question I want to ask.
What's that?
Since we said something about power, how does that work now with utilities?
What do you mean, cutting somebody's utilities off? You can't do that. That's against the law.
No, because of the migrants taking over. Now the utility is not under their name or anybody that's...
Oh, you're going to have to keep them on, bro. You're going to have to keep them on. You're going to have to keep them on. Because there could be someone in there with a ventilator, on a ventilator. And that person has to have power in their home. You cut the power off, you're going to get a murder charge. So you better keep the power on. That's very true. The city will come in against you, bro. Is a wicked world going to sing something? DJ, hey, mate, come on. We're not doing karaoke tonight. I just wanted to sing karaoke for the panel. Do that. We're still live, and I'll be over there shortly over on the other stream, so we can do that in a minute. Again, I just come over here to do some quick hitter topics, and then that's our primary channel. This is the primary, you know what I mean. We can stream something. But typically typically we're all together. Not even branching out. It's the same stream, same channel. But to come over here and hit a topic quick without like an open panel. Plus, it makes it easier for Portia if she wants to cut something like that, and it makes it easier for people who have real estate specific things they want to talk about or any specific thing, as opposed to just jumping in on an open panel. I think this is better. Oh, they ended. They didn't have to end the other stream to come here because this is not going to be very long. Again, someone just wanted to talk about the Colorado thing. I was hoping that they wouldn't end it. I should have told them not to end the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to let them just continue this one on here because I think it's going to be an interesting topic. If someone's from Colorado here, I would love to hear them chime in. To hear what's up, chat. I didn't know all you guys came over here. Now, no wonder we have 50 people in the building. Okay.
Who's John? Who's from Colorado, John?
I don't know if we do have someone from Colorado.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Please come up, please.
Someone here saying, "Opana, what is wrong with Germany?" Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, there probably aren't as many professional opportunities in Germany with all the social stuff, the taxes, blah blah blah. Black Martin is funny. Dan reminds me of this white boy. I don't know. Dan, I think that's the young boy. Rashu said he cleans carpets, Mike.
Okay, yeah.
What part of the country are you in, Mike?
I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Okay, yeah, I'm in DC area.
Yeah, not too far. Yeah. We because you're not limited, but we have my company or company I work for wasn't mine because it was a large company, but we specialize in hotels. That's where you make the money. You go and you get 50, 60 hotel rooms to clean, in the hallways. And so we would do hotels in DC. Biggest pain in the butt. Parking is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Carpet cleaning is good. You make some good money, but it's hard work, man. It's really, really hard work.
Man, you won't believe this, man. I took all my carpet out of my properties. I won't put another piece of carpet anywhere, bro. Like, it's just, whenever, because I used to rip it up myself. I get laid down in a Section 8 apartment, then rip it back up, and man, I would see all the dirt up under the carpet. I see, oh my goodness, man, it's easy to just keep a hardwood floor clean. I thought I was protecting the floor, thinking that they may damage the floor. I'm protecting, but I've had so many floors sanded over the last 3 or 4 years. It's easier to just keep them refinished, refinish the floors and put in carpet, in my opinion. I don't know why I let them put it down. I really have no. I don't know why I ever put it down. But for years,
I got carpet upstairs and then hardwood downstairs. And
carpet, you like walking on carpet? Is it the noise you're trying to
avoid? I like it in the bedrooms. When you get out of bed, you can carpet. It's nice because the hardwood is cold. It's cold. Sometimes I have to put a towel down, put my feet on a towel because it's cold.
I guess I wear flip flops or something.
Mine's hardwood.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Man, I live in New York. The hardware doesn't get that cold. Or DC. Lenders could redline and require 65% loan value on a purchase. That would.
And that's where I grew up. I grew up in New York. And I left at 16. From then on, I've been in Virginia Beach. But you know, it's so much better down here. Down here than up in New York. You know.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
It's not as expensive.
Yeah.
The crime, Virginia Beach has the smallest crime rate, I think, in like almost the whole state.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're real tight over here. We don't mess around. We don't know gangs and stuff like that. You know.
I can only
imagine. If they are, the cops are right on them. On them.
Yeah. I've been down to Virginia Beach maybe a couple of years ago. But yeah, I like the DC, Virginia, that area. For DC and down. I don't want to go to Baltimore. I don't like Baltimore at all. John, you should have a landlord like that. Hey man, Psycho Man 90.
Not even for the seafood, bro. Not even for the seafood.
Oh man, Baltimore.
Come on, man. Not for the crab cakes.
I mean, above New York is good too, but between New York and Philly, New York and Baltimore, I can do it out the whole area.
I've been to Baltimore. Baltimore is wild. That's a wild spot, man.
Yeah, let me get to some of these comments before I get out of here. John, well, I guess they're going to keep it going on since they ended the other stream. John, you should have a reality show about the landlord. Like, I tell you, man, if I had cameras and stuff when I had regular tenants, it would blow your mind. Some of the things that, like I said, the murder scene and so much other stuff. Your comment was, if you buy, you're going to be underwater with the mortgage. It depends on the price.
Right now, it's not a good time to buy, though.
768 credit score. That's very good. Stanley, first time buyer loan is going to get me right. Yeah. All right, now 768 is good. You get some really good terms with that. Put some money in a place that returns more than the interest and it's free. You're going to have to more than the interest. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. And I don't know about being free. But above I'm not sure what he's saying there. You need to rephrase it. Yes, because the market is not good to buy. It depends on what market. Depends on where you are. And again, it depends on the price. People are buying every day. Right now, yesterday, tomorrow. People out here that will call you and depending on where you are, offer to buy your house sight unseen. Right?
They offer to buy my house twice.
But it all depends on the price, right? It all depends on the price. Hey, Mike, is this Mike, the former police officer? I'm not sure. Is that Anton? Oh, is that Arton? I can't read that. Arlen. That time of the month, Stanley. I don't like picking on Stanley. I think he's a decent guy.
Yeah, he was acting a fool, man.
Yeah. My parents' house is up $200,000 in equity. That's very good. What are they gonna do with it? I'm curious. What are they gonna do? Mike's a very good panelist. Yeah, I agree with that, Mike. If you buy now and try to sell tomorrow, of course you're gonna lose money. Depends on the price. Like the people that are offering to buy your house, I'm guaranteeing you that they are not looking to lose. All these big companies, what do they call them, BlackRock or whoever is buying houses, they have a strategy. I guarantee you that they think is going to work for them. Virgo, yeah, me too. I'm ready for karaoke. We have to do it. That was a blast last night. Mike, did you see the karaoke last night?
I did not. I just found you today. Wish I would. It just popped. You just popped up. I'm like, I know this guy, but no, I did not see it today.
Someone wants to know why you have an army of trolls following you.
Oh, isn't it funny? It's funny. I don't know. Some people just obsess over people. It's all good. I used to be on panels like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Even like 6 months ago, and I was like playing characters and messing with people, trolling people, and I just kind of went away from that.
Yeah. Let me see what else before I get. I actually have to get out of here, guys. As I said, I wanted to do it quick. I should have given HB an update. Just let him know this was going to be a short stream, not to end the other one, but it's not a problem. I remember when Ava said she liked you. I don't think you're thirsty. Whatever. Hey, Michael, you in the real estate at all, or you just in the carpet business? That's your interest?
No. I was in the car. I got it messed up too. Sorry. So I'm spurting the news. I was in the carpet cleaning and restoration business for a while, for a stretch, but no, I'm not doing it now anymore. I'm a contractor. That's what I do now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I know I did.
Go ahead, Mike.
I did carpet cleaning and restoration for like, shoot, man, had to be like almost 20 years.
There you go.
Long time.
Yeah, it is a long time, boy. You probably went in some nasty houses.
Yeah, 20 years.
Hey, Portia, I actually have to step away, and I'm actually a little bit overdue, to be quite honest with you. That's one of the reasons why I thought I was going to hit it. No, I mean, I'll let you know, Mike. But yeah, I was just giving some heads up to Portia, my admin, the wonderful editor. By the way, we're at 2 minutes out. 2 hours. I only expected to go 1. Please support the channel, guys. We've been streaming 24 hours a day for weeks on end now. You see the cash apps at the bottom, HB, our co-host, and me, John Galt, respectively, and our wonderful editor, Portia, everywhere. You pop up on a stream, she's there working behind the scenes and sometimes in front of the scenes and on the side of the scenes. So, and again, we see all the views and everything, and it does, cost a little to keep the show going, guys. So we appreciate all the support there. What else before I let Portia and all take over? My topic is whatever I want because I'm reduced to just chat. Staniel, you can always come up if you like. Anytime you like. Good to see you back, Stanley Cross. Hey, Latinos for Trump. Any last words before I get out of here and let the panel take over here?
Nah, man. Just Trump 2024, man. We need that, man.
You looking to find more property, Latino?
To be honest, not now. In the future, though. I don't feel like the interest rate is at my best benefit right now,
Man,
it's
I'm
too
telling
high.
you, it's all about the price, bro.
The interest rate is too high right now.
Oh man, I want as I say, it's the property is the price, the interest rate, and it is the terms, and you can work on the price, and
the price, yeah. But when you got good credit and you making good money, it's not really too much of a.
Yeah. You say you married too, so that's one of the things I was talking about for younger people, man. They have so much. For younger people, man, when they're not married, they have so much more flexibility to partner up and team up with other people without having to go to their wife or their husband. Hey, get approval, blah 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 blah.
I have another buddy that he has his wife's cousin, and the first thing she did right off of college was buy a house, and the house had, I believe, 5 rooms, and what she did was rent all 4 of the rooms. This was 11 years ago. She had, and now she owns 3 houses.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just doing that.
That was a big thing back in the day. They had townhouses. There's a whole neighborhood called Magic Hollow, and it's like all cul-de-sacs of townhouses. And some of those townhouses were 5 bedrooms. I don't know how, but there were small rooms. And you have someone buy the house and rent the rooms, and they'd end up making like twice. Yeah,
yeah. That's what I do, man.
Yeah,
that's what I do, man. I think that's going to be the safest way for many people to go in these inner cities because you can get around a lot of the tenancy laws and things like that. Particularly if you make it a short-term lease, like Airbnb. It's like renting a hotel. Hotels aren't subjected to rental laws, so I think you're going to have to piggyback on their advantage and use that for yours.
Find loopholes.
Yeah, if you see what the hotels are doing, that's what you need to do. Listen. Oh man, you give me going too long, but we have to do another stream about the Hilton CEO.
Yeah, we'll get into another.
Well, yeah, we get into another. Listen, thank you, John. Always a pleasure and a learning experience. Keep doing what you do, bro. Thank you very much, Virgo. Hey, you guys, hang on. We're not going to end the stream. I think Portia's in the background. Portia, if you're there, let me know. I have to run. So, yeah, Mike, glad to see you join.
We could talk about anything. Anything you want to talk about, we could talk
about.
That's one thing about me.
Tell me what you
The
want to
one,
talk about.
yeah. One thing about me, we can switch topics, whenever you want to.
Yeah. I actually need to get out of here, honestly.
All right. No
So I
problem.
need to see if actually I'll go ahead and end the stream, and they may start up another one. Hey, Mike, again, glad you joined, man, and I hope you subscribe and come back here and get on the
I
panel.
will. Definitely.
Some people have some great things to say about you. Yeah.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Yeah, thank you. We have 51 people in the panel tonight. Guys, make sure you support the channel. We have 3 hosts here. Portia does double duty as a host, as well as our wonderful editor, and of course, HB in the morning, that trucking, keeping it going, as well as delivering your goods, and me, John Galt, the urban landlord here. I'm not going to bed. I'll be up for a while. Hell, I might do another stream middle of the night or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to end this one. Hopefully, HB or Porsche will pull back up. If not, they all deserve a break. All right. Talk to you later, guys.